Hey there, Sifu Al Perhacs. How to 10x your Mind Force results. I'm going to talk about it from the standpoint of Mind Force Quantum Qigong and show you some methods that absolutely work, that are going to give you results on how to take your esoteric skills to the next level. Because these are the types of emails, phone calls, requests that I get is, how am I going to use this method the way you describe? Some people are skeptical, obviously, makes sense, right? But I'm going to kind of go through exactly what you need to look for, whether you use my system or someone else's systems. However, I believe my system is one of the best out there, and I'm going to tell you why that is. I'm going to give you really good information that will allow you to make a decision if this is something that you want to do. Very simple. Now, the power of the framework. The Mind Force framework allows the fastest results in the minimum time frame, and I'm going to explain to you why that is, and more importantly, why you need to understand it. Because if you want to get good at this, these are the things you need to do. Now, this is the Mind Force method framework for esoteric transformation. Very simply put, it's designed to help you develop extreme confidence in your ability to become a controller of your mind, body, and spirit. Plain, that's it. That's the bottom line. Mind, body, spirit is the triad method that I've talked about on many seminars, webinars, phone calls, so on and so forth. I want you to be able to create new habits or rituals. Because see, in order to get good, you need to create a habit or a ritual in order to take the process to the next level. This is not just information. This is execution of techniques, concepts, methods, tactics. If you don't grasp that concept, you might as well leave right now. It's not just reading a book. It's not just knowing something. It's applying something. And I'm going to go through the different facets of the Mind Force method and why it's important that all these components fit together. So the first thing is Quantum Qigong. As you look on the chart, you can see that's all about building up massive amounts of physical qi. Most people don't know how to build up physical qi. They'll tell you they do. They'll teach you Tai Chi, even other forms of Qigong, but they're using exercises that are outdated and that don't really work. I've done them. I've experimented with many, many different systems, but that's just the fact of the matter. Many of you have gone through systems like that. You've told me, and you're just not getting the results you want, right? The development of yin and yang qi. Again, most systems do not teach both sides of the training. Yin and yang. Hard and soft. Light and dark. Hot and cold, right? I mean, these are all things that are components of that yin and yang qi. If you don't learn both, you're going to be inadequate in the other. That's just the way it is, because the way yin yang theory works is that if you do too much yang training, it automatically converts to yin, but it converts to yin in the wrong way. By the same token, if you do too much yin training, it converts to yang training on the other end of the spectrum. But again, it's the wrong kind of yang training. And I can explain that more in detail in another session, but this is not the time for that. Qi manipulation skills. How do you use your physical qi in order to manipulate? Now, manipulation is a pretty much a strong word. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But I'm going to show you how you can use qi manipulation. Very simply. It's one of the first things I learned when I first started with this, and I learned it from many, many different masters. Healing with qi, and then cultivating health, vitality, and internal power. Actually, the last couple, healing with qi and cultivating health, vitality, and internal power, might be the most important things of all. That's what you want to learn, be able to learn to do, right? Then we go to esoteric meditations. Controlled relaxation. If you're ever going to get good at these types of techniques, you got to have controlled relaxation, which means you need to be able to put yourself into a state of relaxation on command, on demand. That's just the way it is, especially if you want to get lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences, remote viewing, those kind of skills. You need to be able to get that controlled relaxation. Stillness or dead body training is another way to describe it. They're slightly different. There's slightly different uses for them. But if you're going to get good at esoteric meditations, that's the key. Most people, again, don't know how to do this. I mean, I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, I've been wanting to do this lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences for years, and I've I've tried all these different methods and they don't work. And there's a reason they don't work, is because they're, number one, probably being taught by somebody that's never done it, number one. Number two, they're probably using an antiquated method or a method that just takes too long to become effective. What I've done is created systems and put them in place that work not only for me, but for the people that I have trained over the years. And that's the key delineation factor versus other systems out there. A lot of times people are just regurgitating what they've heard online or a book they read, and that's not really the best way to go about it. Now, they might be right, but they're really shooting arrows with a blindfold on. Let's just put it that way. Psychic power. Well, when I mention psychic power, things like psychic perception, psychic intuition, precognition, mind reading, several different levels of it, mind-to-mind communication, clairvoyance, super sensitivity and awareness. People, that's where they put the stop on me and say, come on now, Al, that sounds a little bit over the top. But in reality, it all integrates with this system, because as you build up the physical chi body, you are developing sensitivity and awareness. If you've gone through some of my seminars that I've done online, I talk about sensitivity. This is all about sensitivity, creating sensitivity in your body, mind, and spirit. Bottom line. If you can't do that, you need to learn a method that will teach you how to do that very simply. Now, the next thing is healing methods. There's energetic healing. There's physical healing, such as pressure points and acupressure. There's mental healing. Very important. How many people are not mentally strong? They need mental healing. Spiritual healing, the same way. They feel like they don't have a reason for life. And a lot of times it comes down to that spiritual energy. And then emotional healing, obviously. These are all big things that everyone faces at some time in their life. And I want to be able to give you the tools that you can use in order to manage that better. That's really what that's all about, is being able to self-heal. And then obviously being able to do that for others. And again, that's a tough subject, because it's one of those things that I've tried everything else. What makes you think your system's going to work? Well, it's because of the methods and processes that I've put in place that allow you better results than someone else's system. Plain and simple. And then you got laws of attraction, building a mind machine, attracting health, wealth, relationships, how to become lucky, creating the magneto of attraction, manifestation. All these things are, again, if you look at all of these pieces, they're all combined with the physical, mental, and spiritual of the system. And in order to get good at esoteric training, in my opinion, you need to be good at all of these. And all of these are going to assist in helping you to get better at all the other ones. That's why you see that arrow pointing, because they all integrate together. And then hypnotic influence, hypnosis, self-hypnosis, hypnotic abundance methods, subliminal messaging, and persuasion. So there's a lot of content here. There's a lot of information you can learn. And I'm going to showcase exactly how you're going to get a 10x or a 10-time type of gain by doing this type of training. So how are you going to 10x? You have to have the right objectives. You have to have the right techniques, the right sequence of the techniques, the right technology, and then you have to have the right coach, obviously. And let's go into more detail on each of those. So the right objectives, very simply, and I've done an entire video on this as well. What do you want? What is it that you want to accomplish? If you don't know what you want to accomplish, then you're never going to get there. Bottom line. If you're going on vacation, somebody says, where are you going on vacation? And you don't even know where that is, you're not going on vacation. You're not going to get there. And the other thing is, when do you want it? What do you want? When do you want it? Number 3, what are you willing to give up to get it? You're going to have to give up something to get something. You might have to give up money. You might have to give up some time. You might have to temporarily give up a current hobby that you have in order to get good at this. And then, importantly, what will the result look like for you? When you say when I say what do you want, what does that result look like for you? What is that going to do for you? And then the last thing is, how will this impact your life? You take these right objectives, and I want you to look at these. And if you need to, copy them down and get a good understanding, because quite frankly, you can use this model in almost every area of your life. Your objectives, your goals. What do you want? When do you want it? What are you willing to give up to get it? And then what will the result look like for you? And then how will this impact your life? The last one, you can almost work backwards and say, okay, I need to impact my life this way. And then you can go up and work from there. But you got to have the right objectives. Otherwise, you're not going to get the results that you desire. Now, the right techniques, are they proven to work? Bottom line, I use only techniques that work. I don't care if somebody says to me that the Buddha did this technique. If the technique doesn't work, it's not in my system. And it shouldn't be in yours either. You should only use techniques that work, proven to work, not just somebody said something. Also, can they be modified to you, to your body, to your age, to your situation, right? If they can't be modified and you have such a strict adherence that you have to do it in a certain way, it removes the ability for a lot of different people to get it to work. Bottom line, right? I'm teaching techniques that you can modify to your own body, to your age, to your gender. That's the way you have to do it. That's the way I was taught. And over the years, as I was coaching people, I realized that is absolutely the only way you can do it. And I can't tell you how many times I've learned techniques from people and they said, you have to do it exactly this way. If you don't do it exactly this way, it won't work. Now, there are some cases where that's true. And there's also cases where that's not true. And I can promise you that most of the time when somebody said, you have to do it exactly like this, when I took that technique back to my little laboratory and trained and modified it to myself, it still worked. Or it actually probably worked better because I modified it to myself. The other thing is, are there side effects? I talk to people about side effects. They always say to me, when I say side effects, they automatically think bad side effects, right? Well, there's always side effects. If you look at every drug, there's a side effect. Everything has a side effect to it, good or bad. But here's the key. If you don't get side effects, is the technique really working? I always judged myself as I was going through this type of training on the side effects that I received. If I received really weird side effects, I knew something was happening. Now, they may have been construed as good or bad depending upon what they were, but at least I knew that I was getting some results, right? That's how you will know that the techniques are working, because you're getting some side effects. You're getting some feedback from your body, from your mind, from your spirit. And then the last thing about techniques is, how often do you need to train with those techniques? I've set a system up in place where you can, again, modify to your schedule, to your timing, and to the effort that you want to put in based on all of those factors. Again, custom designed training. Again, I can't tell you how many people said you need to do this, this much time. And if you don't do it this way, you won't get results. Now, what that does is it gets you into the thought that if I don't do it this way, then I'm going to be a failure. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that it's really the time continuum. I can show you a technique that's going to get you massive results if you put in the time, but you may still get the results if you put in less time. It's just going to take you longer. It just makes sense, right? And that's the way you got to look at this, is you got to look at it from your own individual perspective, not from mine, not from anyone else's, and certainly not from some guru that's trying to tell you have to do it this way. Well, it may or may not be true. You've got to test everything is the other thing. You got to test techniques. You got to make sure they work. I can tell you, I've done the testing on this side with the people I've trained over the years, and we've figured out what works. And guess what? I'll take a technique any day of the week. If it works, I'll include it into the system. There's no question about it. However, I can't tell you how many times people have brought techniques to me that were garbage. And of course, I'm not going to put that into my system, for sure. And then you got the right sequence, right? The sequence is a key to fast results. Now, what does that mean? Is that a lot of times people want to learn advanced techniques before they've laid the groundwork for advanced techniques. So, for example, when you're building up physical chi, there's some techniques that are built based on the amount of energy that you have in your body. And if you haven't built up the energy to a certain level, that next level of technique won't work as effective. And so you could take an advanced technique and teach it to a ranked beginner, and they may not get the results as somebody that would get it if they've been training for a while. That's the whole idea behind the sequence. That's why I came up with the Sequence Masterclass. You have to understand that there is a sequence. The sequence is custom made to the individual. Again, I keep going back to this because it's so critical. that you are an individual, I'm an individual. One of my instructors always used to say, not everybody fits into a size 40 coat. So true. And as I've been going through this in over 20 years of training, that statement is one of the most truest statements you're ever going to have. And that's why you have to have a sequence that's custom made to the individual. I don't know your time schedule. Of course, if we have a coaching relationship, I'll learn it. And then the right versus wrong sequence. Like I said, take an advanced technique, give it to a beginner. It probably won't mean that much. I always liken it back to when you're playing any kind of sport or activity, from the martial arts to any other sport. If you're going to try to teach somebody a basketball technique that's advanced, going around the back through the legs without teaching somebody how to dribble first, they are not going to be able to do it. Bottom line, even though it's an advanced technique. You got to keep the same thing here. Am I going to teach somebody an advanced technique when they haven't mastered the basics? I could. However, they're not going to get the results that somebody that I've taught the basics and they've started to master it is going to get. Bottom line. The right technology. Now, when I mention technology, people are like, technology? How does technology come into esoteric training or mind force? Because we are in a technology-driven society these days. Why not use technology to help you get better? So what is technology in mind force? I guess that's the better question. Is that it's taking the most current technology, the most current research on how the mind, body, spirit works, and integrating it into possibly thousands of years old techniques, concepts, and methods. And then also utilizing the newest concepts and techniques that have been created in a lot less time than 1,000 years, let's say within the last 10 years. And you need to know when to use certain technology. I've also integrated software and different things into my training that allows you to get better. Geez, these are things I wish I had when I got started. I mean, I was a pen and paper guy when I got started because I didn't even have a computer when I got started. And then how to use this to your advantage. Now, even if you're up there in age, 50, or I've got people that train with this system that are 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and I've got people that are in their 20s. Obviously, people in their 20s are more accustomed to technology because they've been doing technology for their entire lives. Right? But if you're maybe a little more mature, you're not used to it. But I can promise you this, if you take in the technology and you start utilizing it, you will get 10x results. That's what all of these things are designed to do, is give you 10x results over what else is out there. And then obviously the right coach. I am the right coach. Why is that? Well, questions you need to ask yourself. Has the coach done what he or she is teaching, and at what level? I've been there and done that. I've done a lot of astonishing things. But more importantly than that, the fact that I did it is that I've coached others successfully. I've got probably people that I've taught over the years that can do a lot of techniques better than I can. That to me is the highest compliment that I could get, is that they've actually gotten better results. And then does the coach have a high performance system that gets high performance results? That is the critical factor of everything you need to know in this entire presentation, is that are you going to get high performance results from a system? That's the key. I've got a high performance system that's designed to get results, and I'm willing to coach you and step you through the process every step of the way. I'm going to push you to excellence. Now, a lot of times people ask me coaching. Sometimes I'll offer personal coaching, and if I offer personal coaching, you'd be a fool not to take it, because I coach people on a monthly basis and charge them a lot of money, and they know by having a coach. I mean, think about it. Everyone has a coach that's successful. You look at athletes, they have coaches. If you look at actors, they have acting coaches. Every person that is successful has a performance coach. And it's no difference here. I can give you courses, I can give you books, I can give you things to listen and watch. But if you have someone that can monitor it, it's always going to be better. Every coach that I work with in this type of training, of course, we didn't really call them coaches. We called them masters, gurus, sifu, sensei, whatever they were calling themselves that day. But the fact of the matter is, they were able to monitor and be able to push me to the next level. Without that, I didn't get the result. I couldn't have got the results that I've gotten. I wouldn't be able to get the people that I'm working with the results. Now, I've set it up so that virtually every system in place has a coaching element to them, even if that coaching is more of a mass coaching, a multi-coaching element versus a personal. But if I offer a personal coaching element, you got to take it. It's just the way to go. And if you don't, you're just not serious. So if you want to get results in anything, you have a coach. Bottom line. And then tying it all together. It's all about results. That's what it's about, is what kind of results are you going to get? And I guarantee you're going to get results. You put in the time, you will get results. No question about it. And you can go back through the slide deck that I have here, and you can look at my websites, and you can look at all the things that I offer and see the results I talk about. Those are results that you can experience. But you got to put in the flight time. You got to listen. If you don't do those things, I can't guarantee you any results. But I can promise you this, that the people that put in the flight time and listen to my advice and to the methodology that's in place with the MindForce method, you will get amazing and astonishing results. That's just the bottom line. The question is, will you believe it for yourself, and are you the type of person that put in the flight time? That's just the way it is. Now, your solution is the MindForce Quantum Qigong High Performance Coaching System. And the way I've set it up is, this is over years of study, is I've created 4 pathways to success. Now, I've got a lot more ways that you can get there, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to design something that's going to meet the individual at their needs and desires. I wanted it to be designed to fit any budget, because certainly when I got started in this training, I didn't have a lot of money to invest in a coach, in training, but I did whatever I had to because I wanted to learn. It's the 4 pathways are also designed for a future pace based on your specific requirements, which means you can start at any point that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, and you can accelerate it forward. And obviously I have acceleration packages that are a lot quicker than others, but the fact of the matter is you can get to the same place no matter which one you take. It really comes down to your timing and your budget, bottom line. And I needed to fit into that budget as well as a timing issue for everyone involved. So the first pathway is the 6-week immersion system, and you may have heard me talk about this. This is the top program that I have. It's a 6-week immersion system, gives you access to really every product, service, masterclass, membership that I have. It's literally, for 6 weeks, I wouldn't say overkill, but it is everything you need in order to get to that next level. Now, even though it's a 6-week immersion system, it's going to take you a lot longer after that to take the techniques and work them, right? It's not a magic kit. I'm not just dropping something off to you, but this includes everything that I've created over the years. Not to mention, I'm going to give you a certain amount of personal time, personal coaching. You can look down on this webpage and see exactly what the fees are for the 6-week immersion system, as well as the coaching package that comes with it. And the coaching package is designed to get you the fastest results, bottom line. But you will receive every product that I currently have, and you get access to it immediately. And again, it is overwhelming. There's no question about it. But if you want the best of the best and you want to be the best of the best, this is the quickest, fastest, most reliable way to get there, bottom line. You've got me for a coach for a certain period of time, and you and I will work together, and I'm going to help you to reach your goals faster than ever before. So that's the 6-week immersion system. Pathway number 2 is the master system. Now, the difference between the master system and the 6-week immersion. Now, the master system is part of the 6-week immersion system. So you will get everything you see on this page, you're going to get in the 6-week immersion. You're also going to get this in the master system. It includes every product I have. The only thing that it does not include is the 6-week immersion, which includes all 3 years of my advanced closed-door Qi training system. Outside of that, you get access to everything else I have. MindForce Library and all the products you see on this page. I'm not going to go through each individual one. If you really want to know, you can contact me or probably go to one of the web pages and it has it. But as you can see, this is a massive amount of product. When I first created the master system back probably 10, 15, 20 years ago, it included the Advanced Qi DVD, the Qi Power Blueprint System, the Mind Portal, internal power centers, and the Magneto system, and dim mock pressure points. That was it. And you can find those products on this page. And you can see that since that period of time, I have added many, many different courses, master classes, and products that you can use to accelerate your ability to get this system to work for you. So it's an amazing, amazing package that's going to put you on the right track for sure. And then pathway number 3 is the Manifestation Masterclass and Mind Force Library Bundle. So this is designed probably when I poll people and I say, hey, what is the thing you want to learn the most? The number one question I get back is manifestation. And manifestation comes in many different aspects: manifesting energy, manifesting health, manifesting wealth, manifesting relationships. It's an open-ended thing. And so I finally did a master class on this. It's been one of my most successful master classes of all time. You get access to that as well as the Mind Force Library Bundle. Now, you get all of these, all of what you're seeing on this page. You also get this in the master system, obviously, and you also get this in the 6-week immersion. So it's all included. But again, each of these pathways are designed to let you in at an entry level. This entry level is a little bit more money than the next one. The master system is a little more than this, but a little less than the 6-week immersion. And then the 6-week immersion is the top package. So I want you to understand that you're getting it. You're getting the training as you need it, based on your timing and based on your budget. And then pathway number 4 is very simply the Mind Force Library and Distilled Learning System. These are the current manuals or books that are in the Mind Force Library. The Distilled Learning System, you have to understand what that's all about. The Distilled Learning System is something I put together because here's what I noticed, is that people would buy the Mind Force Library and then they really wouldn't read all the books. They wouldn't go through all the materials, and it became something that was like anything else. You buy it, you put it on a shelf, either physically or digitally. You put it on a shelf in a folder, right? And you don't really touch it. Well, the Distilled Learning System was a system designed that enables you to stay engaged, has a software with it where you're staying engaged with the process, and you start working in the Mind Force method in any area that you want to start first. So as you can see there, we get the Chi Power Blueprint, the Magneto Method, Internal Power Centers, Mind Portal, Demok Secrets, Pressure Points, Secrets of Self-Defense, 12 devices that almost instantly hypnotize, closed-door self-hypnosis, manipulation, Hypnotic Influence Blueprint, the Mind Force Manifesto, the Hypnotic Abundance Effect. Everything is here with videos and audios to help you get the benefits. For the price, it is absolutely one of the best values you're ever going to get in order to get a start with esoteric training. And then you can take it to that next level. And the next levels would be those next pathways. And certainly this is a great place to start. And for the price, it's really affordable by anybody. If you can't afford the Mind Force Library and Distilled Learning System, then you're really not serious, because it's a very, very minimum investment. There's no other investment that's there. And you could just take this system here, the Distilled Learning System and the Mind Force Library, and you could get really astonishing results. Now, you probably won't get as fast results as some of the others because there's not as much coaching and step-by-step. But if you took these, this is essentially the guts of a lot of what I teach. And this year, I'll be publishing some new books, 2 or 3, that are going to be able to take you to the next level. So I just want you to understand that this is definitely one of these is the right move. Each one is a right move for you. Each one is going to get you amazing and astonishing results. Pick one today and you'll be glad you did. I've enjoyed sharing this information with you. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to ask me, let me know. But I got a lot of questions about this, and I know if you pick one of these pathways, you're going to be super happy. You'll be glad that you did, because you can rely on these pathways to get you the results that you desire. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day. So long.